Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. The Attorney General of Kenya, JB Muturi, who is also the Chief Legal Advisor to the government, has hit the headlines in the recent past. And just the other day, when he appeared before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, he made startling revelations that were only tantamount to sabotage from the executive arm of the government. And JB Muturi said that the miscellaneous amendment bill that seeks to take away the coat of arms, including the government seal from his office to the office of the president, is one that he has not heard about. No one has consulted him. No one has even informed him. He is getting it from the media just like you and I. And people have been wondering why the coat of arms and the government seal that has always been in the office of the Attorney General since independence is now being taken to the office of the president. Number two, JB Muturi revealed that he's got no powers in appointing the staff that work in his office, because he revealed that this role falls under the purview of the Public Service Commission that would always appoint staff and recommend them without his input, without his knowledge. And he's saying that the staff that work under him are demoralized, and sometimes there's been mass exit of these staff to the other offices, like the office of the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, the judiciary, or any other related offices. And they recommended that a board should be created that looks into appointment, promotion of staff, and even how to discipline them, because he does not have any authority over them. And people have been wondering why William Ruto has been taken to court on several occasions, and sometimes the courts have stood by the people who go to court and they have ruled against William Ruto. And people are asking, do we have someone advising William Samoei Ruto? And of course, all this falls under the purview of the Attorney General. It is now very clear that the Attorney General is not being listened to. He's being frustrated and sabotaged, and one wonders why he should continue being in office like a flower girl, an office that is being maintained by taxpayers' money.
For instance, a gentleman who works at State House, but he was appointed by the Public Service Commission to the level of Senior Deputy Solicitor General. The current Chief of Staff in the office of the Deputy President is a Senior Deputy Solicitor General. I'm making my case why it is important for me to delink from the Public Service Commission, and this committee and Parliament could agree with me. Give me a board. It is not just in Muturi to see that. I'm not interested to appoint anybody, but a board so as to serve everybody fairly.
Operationalized. The Office of the Attorney General Act has not been operationalized. That, I think, maybe in a sense I would want to say that this is what pushed me into looking at why are staff exiting in such large numbers. And I looked at it and I said, look, even when I make, I say, want to appoint a state council to go and work in some ministry, sometimes you hear Public Service Commission saying, no, that's our work. We are the ones who deal with public civil servants. When I attend meetings, I'm merely in attendance. That time I'm not advising. And I've told everybody who cares to listen that, here we are in a meeting. When you want advice, please write so that you say specifically what it is you want to be advised on. So that it cannot be that everywhere people are attending a marriage ceremony, I'm advising there. No. And I'm sure you may have noticed that I'm not feasible in such functions, because there's no work for me there. If we go, we maybe just go to dance and maybe eat and drink, enjoy with everybody.
But the question that begs next is, what next for the Attorney General? And when the executive arm of the government is, let me just say, William Ruto is frustrating the Attorney General, what does he expect the Attorney General to do? And I came across an answer to this question. And someone is saying that all these frustrations are aimed at ensuring that finally JB Muturi will exit, will tender a resignation letter and leave that office, because that office is intended to someone else. I want us to read what someone is saying. Someone is saying that this is a long game, that a frustrated Justin Muturi is on his way out of the office of the Attorney General. The signs are written all over the wall. When Justin Muturi exits, the Grand Mullah will be appointed by Ruto as the next Attorney General. Grand Mullah is the city lawyer Ahmednasir. So this person is saying that William Ruto wants to frustrate the Attorney General so that when he exits, Ahmednasir will be appointed. And he continues to say that Grand Mullah's biggest assignment as Attorney General will be to implode the Supreme Court of Kenya through a series of petitions against the judges. The Attorney General is a member of the Justice Service Commission, and Grand Mullah will use his influence in the commission to execute his overt mission in the apex court. It's a long snippet. I just took part of it, but this person is alluding to some information, because of course you can see the image of Wafula Chebukati there. This article also talks about Raila's recent revelations that William Samoei Ruto seeks to appoint people who will dance to his tune, the judges and the magistrates that will always, or who will always dance to his tune. Recently, in fact, I analyzed this yesterday. The judges who have made rulings and verdicts against William Ruto have been transferred. Judge Thande, who ruled against William Ruto in the Finance Bill 2023, was transferred from Milimani Law Court to a Malindi Law Court. And then the other judge, Eunice Nyotu, who exposed William Ruto and how the independent offices, to be very precise, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions was frustrating the Aurora and Kimarer case. That judge was transferred from Nairobi to Keroka Law Courts. And the article says that this is a long game and it continues. Of course, remember that Raila revealed that when William Samoei Ruto met with the President of the Judiciary, Madam Martha Koome, and Wetang'ula, who is the Speaker of the National Assembly, heading the legislative arm of the government, Ruto and Koome came to a conclusion that ahead of 2027, they would ensure that they not only have judges at a lower cadre that will listen to the executive, but at the apex court, Supreme Court, they will have Wafula Chebukati as the new Chief Justice, so that come 2027, if any presidential petition will reach the apex court, then it will be dead on arrival. And so this article reveals that JB Muturi is one of the victims who will be exited or will be frustrated until such a time when they will say, imetosha. And once he goes, Grand Mullah will be in that office. But why Grand Mullah? Because I was trying to analyze this and I was looking at, number one, the other day William Samoei Ruto did a tweet and he concurred with the Grand Mullah that judges and magistrates in Kenya are corrupt. You remember when Ruto said that there are some unscrupulous Kenyans who sponsor several cases to frustrate and to stall his development agenda. and he mentioned Uhuru Kenyatta and many other people. And he said that he would deal with those judges who are corrupt, who connive with other Kenyans to frustrate his agenda. And Grand Mula agreed with them. Grand Mula has always tweeted and maintained that the judiciary is rotten, stinking to high heavens, from the lower courts all the way to the Supreme Court. And you remember how the Supreme Court made a verdict that Grand Mula including his law firm, will never stand before them to argue a case. So William Ruto understands very well that if there's one person who has got a beef with the judiciary, who will deal with the judiciary ruthlessly, including removing judges who will not toe the line, is Grand Mula himself. I was asking one question. Why is JB Muturi suffering in silence? And of course, he recently decided to talk about it, informing Kenyans the predicaments that he's going through. But why is he very vulnerable that William Ruto finds it very easy to frustrate JB Muturi? Because one would argue that JB Muturi comes from Mount Kenya, the Kikuyu community. And these are the people who gave him votes, and therefore he should not frustrate one of them. You remember how he's treating Kimani Chungwa and Ndindi Nyoro and Rigathi Gachagua very closely, close to his heart, because these are people who dance to his tune. But why is JB Muturi a victim and is so vulnerable? Number one, JB Muturi did not bring anything to this coalition. He did not bring any numbers. He was just appointed. He was just there. In fact, it is Uhuru who made him. And so William Ruto picked him when he was already a Speaker of the National Assembly. And so he didn't bring anything. That is why he does not represent a constituency where he can go back and cry to them that ni nyinyi ndio mnamalizwa. So that makes him very, very vulnerable. Number two, as David Murathe once revealed, he backstabbed Uhuru Kenyatta. And so William Ruto knows very well that, Uhuru picked JB after he had lost 2 elections. And when he was picked, he betrayed his master, just like many other Kikuyu leaders betrayed Uhuru Kenyatta. And so he knows very well that he cannot go back there. Even though in politics, you cannot rule out any possibility, but going there will be maybe like a prodigal son. And Ruto knows very well that he betrayed his master, and therefore frustrating him is very, very easy. Number 3, having worked very closely with Uhuru Kenyatta makes him a victim. William Ruto does not trust those who work with Uhuru Kenyatta. He trusts to work with the people from his Rift Valley community, or those whom he made, people like Ndindi Nyoro. If you are not coming from his community, then it must be a fact that William Ruto made you. Remember, JB Muturi was made and elevated by Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto did not make him. So, William Ruto is very suspicious of him. That is why he's taking the coat of arms from his office. He believes that maybe this guy could take some secrets back to Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is why, in this government, those who worked with Uhuru Kenyatta are not really buddies with William Samoei Ruto. If he didn't make you, look at Baba Yao. Baba Yao said that William Ruto deceived him that he would be a deputy president. Yet he knows very well that Baba Yao, people like Baba Yao, people like Maina Kamanda, people like the former governor of Kiambu, those are people who made themselves, and William Ruto does not trust them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, JB Muturi will decide whether to endure these frustrations or to resign. And when he does, we are told that Grand Mula will take that position. Do you agree with the assertion of this article that the next Attorney General will be Grand Mula? And do you think he befits that position? Please share with me in the comment section.